The recent calls for the scrapping of the EFCC have continued to gain momentum as 16 state governors filed a suit at the Supreme Court challenging the legality of the establishment of the country's anti-graft agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Against this backdrop, the Director of Public Affairs in the EFCC, Wilson, had alleged that the push for the scrapping of the agency came as a result of the governor's claim of being at the receiving end of the unpleasant effects of the anti-graft agency's activity. In this special report, Clearview Imefonokon sought opinions on the issue: if Nigeria can survive without the EFCC.
The calls for the scrapping of the EFCC has continued to trigger debate among stakeholders, as 16 governors across the country are seeking the scrapping of the anti-graft agency. The state governors had filed a suit challenging the legality of the laws establishing the agency, relying on the fact that the Constitution is the supreme law and that any law that is inconsistent with it is null and void. However, the agency had accused the governors of trying to derail the EFCC's efforts at combating corruption, which has continued to become a huge issue of concern in Nigeria. The question is, can Nigeria survive without EFCC?
You cannot tell me one man will have almost 100 billion for what? And people are suffering. And you want to scrap the people who can fight for that? That's not normal. You understand that? That's not normal. Any person who brought such advice should be bring to custody. You know, they have to cross-check the person. But okay, what do you want to bring now to check? Is it police? Is it army? No, now these people, that is their job.
Before EFCC was brought on board, at least Nigeria has been surviving. They already brought EFCC so that they can, scrap corruption, control, activities of money laundering and thereabouts. So, to my own point of view, with EFCC, without EFCC, already there's corruption in Nigeria.
Nigeria will survive because EFCC, they are not doing their work. Because they are cause of all some things that are happening in Nigeria. You understand? Because if EFCC, they are doing their work properly, some governors have to be arrested and be jailed.
And look, actually, EFCC is in fact, we have lost hope in them. Ever since they have been acting in this operation, we have not seen substantial evidence of their actions. That's why the governors are calling. You write a petition to them, ordinary man, we don't see answer. And all the money that they are recovering, nobody knows what they are doing with the money.
Before 2004, or whereabout when they created the EFCC, Nigeria has been surviving. In fact, the corruption was not alarming like what we are having today. So the issue is not to scrap it, it's to reform it. What makes them not to work well, and to also re-engineer the minds of Nigerians towards better quality of life. Let us leave greed and selfishness and do what is right.
EFCC, putting high on EFCC right now, is that the problem of Nigeria? No. So EFCC are doing their best. They're doing their work, and we have the good ones in EFCC. So I don't think it's a point.
If you see the advanced country, most of them, they have this kind of agencies. Even the agencies that are even more powerful than this EFCC, and they are still doing their work. But the government to say they should subscribe EFCC, it can bring the solution of where we are facing either corruption, other government. It's not the problem.
Meanwhile, some Nigerians who accused governors of masterminding corruption in Nigeria said their recent push for the scrapping of the EFCC is for their selfish interest.
Of course, if the governors, EFCC was not after that, they would have not been raising eyebrows. A lot of things are happening in the state. Nobody can challenge them. They are behaving like they are untouchable. The only EFCC is going there. But the only point was the ESP, their actions are not transparent. If not, governors have no moral integrity to say this is scrap EFCC, because they are not doing the best.
Because then they know they are cheating us. That is why they don't want any interference of EFCC.
It's because of their own personal interests. There's nothing bad in the FCC if they are doing their work properly.
How would they like? Because they don't want to. They want to continue their stealing.
The reason some of them are calling for this, you know, if money leave federation account to the state now owns the money. But EFCC is a federal agency. Except if they decentralize it, whereby each state will have their own such kind of thing. I know of Kano, we have such an anti-corruption agency. So that the money collected within the state, those who looted the state treasury, when the agencies collect the money from there, should return back to the state, not to the federal government again.
So to me, in my opinion, scrapping EFCC is not the solution. Enhance them, equip them, and make sure that rule of law works on anybody.
The states joined in the suit filed originally by the Kogi state government include Ondo, Edo, Oyo, Ogun, Nasarawa, Kebbi, Katsina, Sokoto, Jigawa, Enugu, Benue, Anambra, Plateau, Cross River, and Niger State. Imefonokon reporting for Clever News.